This is an audio-visual presentation on natural numbers. The set of natural numbers is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 in that order. That is the set of natural numbers. That is the set of natural numbers. Now, they are also called counting numbers since we use them for counting. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 in that order. That is what we use for counting. And therefore, we call them counting numbers. Now, the set of whole numbers is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in that order. So when we add 0 to the set of counting numbers or the natural numbers, then we have what we call the whole numbers. So the whole numbers start from 0. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in that order. Now square numbers. The square of a number is the number multiplied by itself. So when we say 2 square, it means 2 times 2, and the answer is 4. 3 square is equal to 3 times 3, and the answer is 9. 4 square is equal to 4 times 4, and the answer is 16. The square of a whole number is called a perfect square. Now, 1 is a whole number. When you square 1, 1 square equals 1. So 1 is a perfect square. When we square 2, 2 square is equal to 4. And so 4 is a perfect square. When we square 3, 3 square is equal to 9. And so 9 is a perfect square. Now, take note. 1, 4, 9, they are all perfect squares. When you take the square root of perfect squares, you have whole numbers as answers. So the square root of 1 will give you 1. Square root of 4 will give you 2. Square root of 9 will give you 3. And the answers are all whole numbers. So when you square a whole number to get a perfect square, you can also take the square root of the perfect square to get back the whole number. So when you square 1 to get 1, the square root of 1 will still give you 1. When you square 2 to get 4, the square root of 4 will give you 2. And when you square 3 to get 9, the square root of 9 will give you back the 3. Factors. A factor of a whole number is a whole number that divides exactly into it. A factor of a whole number is a whole number that divides exactly into it. Now, let's consider this. When we divide 12 by 3, the answer is 4. And 4 is a whole number. This implies that 3 is a factor. Because when we divide 12 by 3, we are getting a whole number. That makes 3 a factor. Similarly, when we divide 12 by 4, the answer is 3. And 3 is also a whole number. That means that 4 is a factor. Because 12 divided by the 4 gives us 3. That's a whole number. And therefore 4 is also a factor. So if you divide any number by another number and you are getting a whole number, then it means that the denominator or the divisor is a factor of the numerator. Now, common factors. If 2 or more numbers have a common factor in common, then the factor is called a common factor. If 2 or more numbers have a factor in common, then the factor is called a common factor. Now let's proceed. Example, 3 is a factor of 12. Why is 3 a factor of 12? It's because when we divide 12 by 3, the answer is 4, and 4 is a whole number. So 3 is a factor. And 3 is a factor of 15. Because when we divide 15 by 3, you're also getting a whole number, 5. So 3 is also a factor of 15. Therefore, 3 is a common factor of 12 and 15. Because we can see that 3 is a factor of 12. And 3 is also a factor of 15. That means that the number 3 is a common factor of 12 and 15. That is what we mean by common factors. Now let's look at the highest common factor, also known as the HCF, the highest common factor. The highest common factor of a set of numbers is the largest factor they have in common. The highest common factor of a set of numbers is the largest factor they have in common. Example, find the common factors of 12 and 24. What is their highest common factor? Now let's look at how we can solve this problem. The factors of 12 are 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12. You know why these are factors? Because when we divide the number 12 by all these factors, we have whole numbers. And that's why 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12 are factors. The factors of 24 are 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 12, and 24. This is because when we divide 24 by all these numbers, the answers are all whole numbers. Now, when we consider the factors of 12 and the factors of 24, we can see that the highest common factor is 12. And so the HFC is equal to 12. That is the highest common factor. The factor common to 12 and 24 is 12. So the highest common factor equals 12. Now multiples. A multiple of a whole number is found by multiplying it by any whole number. Example, the multiple of 3. We have 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. So if you want to generate multiples of a number, you can generate it by addition of the number to itself a number of times. That is, if you want the multiples of 3, we have 3, 6. How do you get a 6? You add 3 to it. Plus 3 will give us 9. Plus 3 will give us 12. Plus 3 will give us 15. So plus 3 will give us what? That is 18. Plus 3 will also give us what? 21. That is how we generate multiples of a number. So take note. Lowest common multiple, LCM. Two or more numbers may have more than one common multiple. Two or more numbers may have more than one common multiple. So the lowest common multiple, that's the LCM, is the smallest multiple they have in common. The lowest common multiple, known as the LCM, is the smallest multiple they have in common. Example, find the LCM of 15 and 18. Solution, the multiples of 15 are 15, 30, 45, that is additions of 15. 15 plus 15 will give us 30. Plus 15, 45. Plus 15, 60. Plus 15, 75. Plus 15, 90. Plus 15, 105, in that order. The multiples of 18 are, we have 18. Plus 18, 36. Plus 18, 54. Plus 18, 72. Plus 18, 90, in that order. Now, the least common multiple is 90, as shown. The least common multiple. The least common multiple is 90. So the LCM of 15 and 18 is 90. This is the end of our presentation.